Hey friends, Mike and Jess here.
And welcome to Regeneration Nation TV. Today we are reacting to British inventions that changed the world. This is Yvette's vibes. I'm excited for this. I always love videos like this, especially the British inventions, things that we didn't know, you know, that we take it for granted every day.
Exactly. If there's anything like the plugs, I don't know. If the plugs are in here, it's going to be a good video, even if they're not. Yeah, I'm always excited to learn something new. That's why we're here.
Yep.
That's why we're doing this. Well, we've got links for Yvette's channel down below. We've got links for this original video down below. Go check her channel out. Go subscribe. I just did. Boom. Don't you want to be like Mike and Jess and subscribe to her channel? Well, you can. Click those links down below. Let's get into this.
Let's do it.
Brits don't like to blow their own trumpet, and they really should sometimes. So yeah,
wait, what?
Brits don't like to blow their own trumpet, and they really should sometimes.
I don't know. I disagree. You guys are blowing your trumpet in the comment section all the time. And I think it's fair. It's not like I have a problem with it. It might seem like it with my tone of my voice, but...
I think all they're doing is just dropping facts in the comment section, so...
Some people would consider dropping facts blowing your own trumpet, but, you know.
Brits don't like to blow their own trumpet, and they really should sometimes. So yeah, he literally was a scientist, and he just wanted to be able to take tea on a picnic. Is that the weirdest analogy I've ever given? Probably. Which is the most British thing I've ever heard, and I love it. Back to the Future has some thanks to give, I think, to Christopher. Next one I think is interesting because of the reputation Brits have for having bad teeth. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around...
That was like a little snippet of what's to come.
Yeah. I could see that she's just having the conversation.
I was like, did I pause the video at the wrong time?
Her eyes are so distracting. She has a beautiful smile, and I love her accent. I'm just like obsessed with her already a little bit.
I'll let you do the obsessing, and I'll just sit here and...
Because of the reputation Brits have for having bad teeth. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new around here, I am Yvette, and I moved to the UK in May last year, and I've been here almost a year, and I'm documenting my experiences. I literally hit record and they literally turned that on. You cannot be joking. Well, we're back in just a few minutes. Some technical difficulties. We're back, sorry. I also have a wild dog that likes to come in and out of my videos. Hello. I'm eating you too somehow. So for this video, I wanted to make a video talking about the top British inventions that no one really realizes are British. I feel like America takes a lot of the glory in terms of inventions, and people don't realize how much Brits did, considering how impactful they were on the world, particularly in the Industrial Revolution and all that jazz. So I thought I'd make a video highlighting some of Britain's greatest achievements, and we'll go from there. So these are just some of the ones that I had no idea about. So you might already know these, they might be common knowledge, but coming from a foreigner, these were not common knowledge to me. Number one, I think is absolutely no surprise to anyone who's been to England, but the thermo flask. So the flask that you put your tea in. Shocking. They love tea so much they found a way to travel with it. And so that's a British invention, which makes sense. It was invented in 1892 by James someone. I'm not going to be like a history lesson. All you need to know is that it was a flask. So yeah, he literally was a scientist, and he just wanted to be able to take tea on picnics, which is the most British thing I've ever heard, and I love it.
We call it a thermos here, and I definitely have one for coffee. Long trips that I need my coffee.
It's the greatest invention ever, because we love taking
It's the greatest invention ever.
We love coffee.
That's a stretch, but
I want to take coffee and have it hot wherever we go.
It's top 5 for sure.
The next invention is the lawnmower, which everyone has. Lawnmower was invented in 1827, and it was
I absolutely love her.
She's very natural. I mean, she's just real.
I love how real she is. That's what I'm saying. I love how real she is. Like, this is like legit, like a regular person every day just wondering about these things and looking up facts about it.
Some YouTube channels are way too overproduced.
Yeah.
Way too overly edited.
Yeah.
There's a meme every 5 seconds thrown in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I enjoy this.
This is just,
I wish
simple.
I didn't have a lawnmower though. Can we invent something else? Like, what's the next level above that?
A riding lawnmower?
I mean, even that's still a lawnmower, Jess. Still falls under the category. All right.
But it's the next step up for us.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Lawnmower was invented in 1827, and it was for the affluent to have good football and cricket pitches, which is surprising to no one. But then obviously it took off, and there you go. Which makes sense, because very British to think of a British garden with a very curated like hedge and like beautiful like flowers. Makes sense. Now this one.
What did we do before lawnmowers? I ride around sometimes and I see like parts of just roads and everything like that to where they only cut them every so often, and they're so overgrown. And some people's yards, maybe houses that have been abandoned at some point, it's just like you can't even walk to their front door.
Yeah.
Like, what did we do? I know that we had things to cut grass before lawn mowers, but even before we invented a freaking sharp thing on a stick that you just swung around and chopped grass with.
They didn't care about it then. I think that was the first step. They did something that was sharp. So before that, they probably just walked around.
How did you live like that?
I couldn't. We're very fortunate.
That's crazy.
Fine, if I've got any Americans watching, will be a point of contention, I am sure. But I have my stats to back me up. The light bulb was invented by No, it wasn't invented by Thomas Edison. I got you. It was invented by Joseph Swan in 1880. He started manufacturing them in 1880. He had a patent, and at the time the only real competition was gas lights, and these were much better for the people because there was no residue, no smoke, etc. No smell, and they took off, and they only lasted 12 hours. So I have no idea how much they would have cost, because that would have been... But yeah, little known fact, not Thomas Edison. That's a good one for like trivia, you know, your pub trivia, and they say who invented the light bulb? And it's a trick question, because really it's Joseph Swan.
We've talked about this in the previous videos. I'm not going into it again. So if you've watched those other videos,
our friends from across the pond will love that this part of it, this statement for sure.
Pub trivia, and I say who invented the light bulb? And it's a trick question, because really it's Joseph Swan. The next one, my personal favorite, is the chocolate bar. It was created in 1847 by Fry and Sons. Before this point, it was only consumed as like a drink, and then they created a mixture where they mix it with sugar and made it more of a solid that would then melt in your mouth, and that was the chocolate bar, which is fascinating. So it was also created in Bristol. So my Bristolians, claim to fame, chocolate.
Are you changing your pick for #1 invention?
Yeah, I am.
I knew it.
Chocolate bar.
She's
That's
got
the
them hidden
greatest
all
invention.
around the house. So I figured.
Yeah, I can't live without chocolate.
Bristol,
I could probably
so
live without
my
chocolate,
Bristolians, claim to fame, chocolate. Get royalties. Something we've all had at some time in our life is soda water, which was invented by the Brits, specifically Joseph Priestley in 1742. He created soda water. So he created the way to make soda water. However, Mr. Schwepp, whoever of Schweppes, I think we all know, ended up using that method to make soft drink, carbonated soft drink. And it was a bowl above some beer. And then that makes soda water. There you go.
So soda water came before soda?
Well, that's what they added. Well, they add the carbon. But still, like... I'm so excited because I love soda water, and I get judged all the time here. Like, I'm pretty much the only person at my work that actually likes soda water, unless you're like a guest coming in and asking for it. Yeah. But every time people are like, "Oh, soda water," I thought it was
invented like 15 years ago when I met you.
Yeah.
You started drinking around me. I'm like, what is this? This is terrible. They need to uninvent this.
It is surprising to me to find out that it was in the 1700s that it was invented. But yeah, that's crazy. Cool though.
Very cool.
1876 by Graham Bell. He invented the telephone, the traditional telephone, rather than, you know, our traditional mobile phones have today. I don't know what he would think about that. Another huge one.
He'd be shocked.
So this is so funny because Alexander Graham Bell, I will always remember his name, and the inventor of the telephone, because there was a commercial that used to come on when I was younger when we actually watched commercials. But it was this guy, and he was eating a peanut butter sandwich or something. It had to have been a commercial for the food that he was eating, but he literally was on the phone waiting to get a contest line on the radio, and he finally got it answered, and that was the question, and he was saying the answer, but because his mouth was full with whatever food he was eating, they couldn't hear him, and they're like, okay, Colin, we're gonna have to go to somebody else, and he was like frustrated and like yelling. You remember the commercial?
No.
I'll have to show it. We have to find it and put the link in the description or something.
That's hilarious.
It's probably on the internet.
Commercial.
But yeah, that sticks out in my brain every time I hear Alexander Graham Bell.
That's hilarious.
Mobile phones have today. I don't know what he would think about that. Another huge one, so I'm covering off like all of the massive inventions I would say that have like transformed the 21st century. Is that like phones? We've got phones, light bulbs,
Chocolate.
We also have
The thermos.
the television, which revolutionary. And I didn't know that. I honestly would have thought America invented the TV, but here we are. The TV was invented by John Bard, and it was in 1925. So somehow older, but also not as old as I thought, which is weird. So there's a bit of contention over who actually invented the TV. However, Jonathan Bard did actually project an image using television type materials first. However, he didn't patent it or protect it in any way, so he couldn't really reap the rewards of his invention. So that's why there's so many different people who took that technology and then tweaked it and made it their own, and then there you go, sold off. Next one I think is interesting because of the reputation Brits have for having bad teeth, but did you know that Brits invented the toothbrush? Before he invented the toothbrush, people were getting salt and soot and putting it on a rag and then brushing their teeth like that, and he was like, I think I got a better way. And so
Pause. Did she just say salt and soot? Like
Yeah.
soot, like the ash from fire?
Yeah.
Like when something burns?
I knew that, actually.
But it makes sense because charcoal is something that they use in like all that stuff for like teeth whitening and stuff like that. So I get that. But when she said that, I was just like, hold on a second.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. You wouldn't think of it, but yeah, I went to a program when I was a kid, and we were building fires and camping out and doing all kind of crazy fun stuff. And one night he literally was like, you guys want to brush your teeth like in a different way? I don't know what the heck he said, but I don't know what his pitch was. But he got us all to rub freaking charcoal from the fire all in our mouth. I was like, what in
How did
the
that
world?
feel?
It was weird.
Because I bought charcoal powder just to do the teeth whitening thing, and I never did it. It was one of those things that I just bought it because I couldn't bring myself to do it. I don't know. It was just weird. But yeah, so I just wasted money for no reason.
1770, he invented a toothbrush, and I cannot thank him more for it. There's so many inventions for the UK have invented, so like hip replacement, sewage systems, all of like standard day-to-day stuff, but I'm here for the interesting ones, like the ones that you wouldn't think of. So for example, the UK invented hovercrafts. It was by Christopher Cockwell, and he was in 1953, and he just wanted to make his boat go faster, and then he ended up making it hover along the water. So Back to the Future has some thanks to give, I think, to Christopher. Chris. The UK also invented ATMs, something we all use almost every day. It was invented in 1967 by Joseph Sharon Barron, is that it? Shepard Barron. And he invented ATMs because there was a machine installed outside of Barclays in 1967. However, because we didn't have credit cards yet, you would get a special check and you could insert it and put a pin in, and then it would give you £10 back. And then obviously it's taken off from there. But I often think before then, because I think they actually, before they came widespread, they didn't come widespread, I think, in Australia until like maybe the 80s, maybe even later. Because my parents would often mention how when they were young, they would have to go to the bank during the week and get their money out for the weekend, and the banks were closed on the weekend. So if you didn't have enough money for the weekend, too bad. And I was like, as someone who lives in the 21st century, like, I've got 7 different ways I can pay for something, whether it's Apple Pay, credit cards, cash, a different credit card. There's always some way to buy something now. So the idea that you could have just literally been stuck with no cash is wild. Would have made saving a lot easier because you just can't access your money. So it's like when you're eating healthy and you buy healthy food at the store, and then you get home and then you want to crave snacks, but there aren't any and you can't get any. That's how I feel with the money situation. Is that the weirdest analogy I've ever given? Probably.
Dude, I remember when I first turned 18, maybe even before then, right around that time though, when I first, they opened up a checking account for me. I was getting money from my jobs that I was working, and I would go to take money out, and you couldn't withdraw money more than 6 times a day, or it would start charging you just for withdrawing your money. So it's like trying to, and I'm spending money like it's going out of style when I first started making it. So it's like if I wanted to spend more money after that 6th time, I'm like, I'm just going to withdraw $10. Okay, another 10, and it's like, okay, I just need to take out $100. and just have it on me,
So you
because
don't
if I
have to-
freaking don't withdraw enough by the 7th time, I can't take any more money out.
That's so silly because it's your money. You
Yeah.
should be able to do whatever you want with it.
It was either withdraw it 6 times or even just swipe your cards. Like, I couldn't use my money as many
I
times
think it
as I
was
wanted to. It wasn't
card
just
swiping.
freely available to me.
Yeah, card swiping was like that too. You could only do it a certain amount of times.
That might have been it.
When
yeah.
I first got my bank account, it was like that. Yeah, which is so silly.
And I was getting charged over and over. Like, you could do it, but you would get the freaking charge for doing it. And I'm like, dude, this is so stupid.
They take your money. It's my money.
I just want a cheeseburger.
I've saved the best till last, and I think it's the most impactful thing that's ever happened to the history of mankind, and it's a British invention, so you guys can claim it all your own. It is the World Wide Web. It was invented by Tim Berners-Lee, and it was almost called Tim, like the internet was almost called Tim, like the World Wide Tim or something. So he, in 1991, the year I was born, good year, connected a bunch of computers together and created a server, and then created the first ever web page which explained how to set up a website and how to use it to search things. So without that, the entire world would be different. And he gave away that invention for free. I don't think he's gotten any reward from it. He didn't pay anyone to use it. It was free domain. Which is amazing. That would never happen now.
No,
Without
never.
him, you wouldn't be watching this video. You wouldn't know who I am. It's wild how much that's changed.
Yeah.
So those were just some of my favourite British inventions that I had no idea about. Some of them make complete sense, like the thermoflask and that, but things like the internet, I think people don't give enough credit to the UK for inventing, because let's be honest, Brits don't like to blow their own trumpet, and they really should sometimes. You guys do have a lot to offer. You should be bragging more. America's getting all the brags in. But that's it for this video. I thought I'd just do a quick little fun one. Just something random. I fell down the internet again, down a random click hole. So here we are. Anyways. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and remember to hit subscribe so I can see you next time. Please let me know in the comments if any of this was a surprise to you, because I definitely thought Thomas Edison did the light bulb. So I think it's been contested. I think he stole a lot of stuff. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think he was like
Yeah,
infamously
that's one way to end it.
collectively stole a lot of people's inventions. But like, get that hustle. At least you get your name out there. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. Bye.
It is crazy. The only thing I will say,
like
first of all,
her.
she's adorable. Her,
She's
very
cute.
relatable. She's
She
very
is.
real. It's
Yeah.
just like anybody sits down to record themselves on camera, that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Especially when you first start out. But I will say, like, the more that we've learned about different inventions, the karaoke machine, the light bulb, this is a common occurrence, man. There are a lot of people out there who will just, if you don't patent your idea first, they will do it. Or
Yeah.
they'll just change it slightly and then patent that.
Yeah.
They'll, like, make it a little bit better, just incrementally better, and then they'll patent that. And then that one is the one that takes off. And I think that's kind of what happened with Edison. Like, his light bulb was more widely used. I'm not getting all into this.
Yeah,
We've
you
already
are.
gotten into this
You
too
started.
much, dude.
You started.
We've already
to
gotten
look
into this too
at
much,
catch
but
himself.
it's crazy how, like, even she was saying that, like, this guy with this thing didn't patent it in time. So then,
Yeah.
But the Edison one and the Joseph Swan one gets talked about the most. That's like the most widespread one, because light bulb is just, it's a huge thing. Mm-hmm. It's more widely used than the karaoke machine, let's be real, or probably anything else. But it is kind of crazy looking up into that, because I had to educate myself on a lot of that stuff, because I had no idea. And it's just crazy how many things that happened with. Mm-hmm. One person invented it, and they don't, if you look up or you ask somebody walking down the street, who invented this? They'll tell you what they think of it or what they have learned. And most of the time, it's crazy. It's like, no, that's actually not the person who first invented this.
That's so crazy. That the microphone that it stuck to
I'll hold mine too.
It stuck to my sweater, you guys, and it fell. It ripped it off. Okay,
We're holding our mics
it's okay.
now.
We're just gonna be fancy like this, like a talk show host. It's cool. I
Exactly.
can't take it anywhere, but it's gonna go right here. I just think it's so crazy just to think about the nostalgia of when we grew up, because it was like when you find out that the worldly, I say worldly wildly web because it's from Romeo and Juliet. That's the only way I can say it, but. www, we still use that when we type in addresses on the internet. Like when you go to search something, you look at that. So he kind of did get the credit still, but the fact that he just gave away that information without any reward or any payment or anything like that, and he just gave that to the world. I just feel like that's very noble, and I feel like super cool. But anyway, it just got me thinking about when the internet first came out. I remember going to my mama's house, and I would get on the internet there, and it would be like this whole big thing. You'd go, it'd be like the whole thing. If somebody called, you were kicked off. Like
Wasn't that AOL specifically?
AOL, yeah, that was AOL, and like the chat rooms, the
America
chat boxes.
Online. Did America Online take off anywhere else besides America?
I don't know.
I don't know. You got a new version of it. You got the little disc. You had to do the new
install it through the disc in the drive, and then
dude, my computer now doesn't even have a disc drive. We've come a long way.
We have. And the flip phone, I remember getting my first Razr phone. I was obsessed because the phone before that was just a little tiny screen, and the game that you could play on it was the worm game, and it was all black and white, and it was like and you get like little ping pong or whatever.
It was more like green.
Yeah.
Black.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah. So crazy how far technology has come, but it started somewhere, and we just found out where. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Super
I mean,
cool.
honestly, the flask, even the first thing that she mentioned, it's like tea, coffee, depends on what you're into. It's like the first use of it was just to bring your tea somewhere.
Yeah. That's awesome. He's like, I don't want to just stay here and drink my tea.
Like,
I want to have it out with me.
It's not like any kind of medical use or like any kind of scientific thing going on. We need to transport these materials at a certain temperature. I just wanted to bring my tea with me.
I just want my tea to be with me.
I wanted it to be hot. That's amazing.
And now everyone going to work can enjoy their coffee and their tea all day.
And now you just got like the insulated cups, yeah.
That was my first introduction.
That like certain insulated cups will keep your coffee for a while, and some are like, man, it's already cold.
Yeah.
This thing sucks.
You got to get the right one, yeah. But that was my first introduction to a thermos. Is my dad every morning he would make a coffee thermos and take it to work with him.
Yeah, we've got some good ones.
Yeah.
Go to drink it after all day, and it's like, oh, you fit. Now I'm just over here holding mine like an idiot.
I just couldn't. I need to move my hands. Just kidding.
Who the heck invented this microphone and this microphone holder right here?
It's not them. It's us. We've knocked it over so many times. We're getting into too much of our background.
Yeah.
But
well, that was fun, y'all. If there's any more videos like this you want us to check out, let us know down in the comments below. Go and support our new friend Yvette's. It's just Yvette. Sorry, it's Yvette's. Anyways, apologize. I apologize.
Goodness
really messed
me.
the end of this video up. Like, subscribe, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye, friends.
Peace. Peace.
I'm not scared of your love.